second story is the husband and wife who passed divorce, and the ex-husband, or some of the ex-husband, burned down the house. And unfortunately, the story is really being killed because the mother is caught. Are you two together? That's incredible. That was incredible. Good morning, everybody, and welcome on in. I am Joshua Bleasy. I am the Unknown Prophet. I'm here to do daily tarot readings for you and anybody who might need them. I do use my homemade tarot deck, the Five Pass Tarot. I do this from 7 to 10 a.m. every morning, Central Standard Time. So if you'd like to stop on in and show me some love by getting a reading and stuff like that, just let me know, please, in the chat if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, and kind of let me know. And hey, Brooke, I will be happy to get you. Just let me finish my introduction real quick, and then we'll get right in. So I do two different kinds of readings. I do a 3-card reading, which is your past, present, future, and then I pull you a destiny card along with that. And I also do a qualifying card for your future if you want it. Then I do what I call the journey layout, and I'm going to show you the layout here real quick. And I take you on the journey down these paths, and I can explain those to you if you want a more complicated, better answers for your questions. So I take you down a journey. There are some choices and decisions you have to make along the way, but it is more of a in-depth reading for you. So you let me know what kind of a reading you need in the chat, and I will be happy to get you guys all. So sorry, I'm kind of updating some of my stuff right here. So so Brooke, if you're ready, please tell me what kind of a reading you would like today. Good morning, Lynn. And Brooke, if you're still here, you're first in line. If you want a reading, you got to let me know, though. Because if someone says you're the first one in line, but I'm not hearing a response from you, so maybe you decided to go check out somebody else for a change. And welcome in, Lynn. Same thing goes for you. If you want a reading, please let me know. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, please give me a little bit of time for me to respond to you. Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag on there. But and I will give you a couple of minutes to respond back to me. But if you're gone for like 5 minutes, I want to move on to the next person. I just have to do that because I sometimes get a lot of readings. Please be patient with everybody who does get a reading, to help them be able to, get the reading that they need for today. And like I said, I use my intuitions and my guts. So welcome on in, Facebook, Lynn. So like I said, if you would like a reading, please let me know what kind of reading do you want. Would you like a 3-card reading or a 5-card reading today? While we wait for Lynn or the other young lady to respond to me here real quick, I'm going to put on some of the nice mystical music for us to listen to this morning. 3-card, not a problem. So here's what I need you to do for me, Lynn. I need you to tell me how many times you want me to shuffle the deck for me. 1 through 10. And let me get rid of this real quick here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your answer is in my deck. Oh, I gotta fix my bandana real quick. Look, don't look at the messy hair. Don't look at the messy hair. Oh, don't ever respect me because I have messy hair. It's not why I wear the bandana, but 22. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right, and here is your reading for today. Okay, and let's see what we got here. All right, so here's your reading for today, my lady. Give me 1 second here, just finish up putting this out real quick. I had to put my cigarette out. Or my tobacco thing here, and then I will get to your reading. Okay, that's good. All right, so here's your reading for today, Lynn. Okay, so in your past, you've been working on this here. You've been kind of letting things kind of happen naturally. You know what happens? You've got my fermentation card, first of all. My fermentation card is all about allowing things to happen in a natural time frame. You know how when you want to craft a really nice, good brewed beer or a good craft quality wine, you have to let things happen in order for that to become an elixir you want to drink someday. So right now, I believe what you've been doing in your past is allowing all of this stuff. You've added the sugars, you've added the yeast, you've added all the flavorings, all the stuff into your makeup. But now you kind of have to let things kind of ferment in there and kind of get used to this new thing that you want to be going to do in the future. So it's kind of allowing yourself some time to allow yourself to become that finely crafted beer that you would want to drink yourself and people would want to drink. Just an analogy for you there. But then what's going on in your present right now? Right now, you got my glaze card. My glaze card is all about adding those extra protections that you might need on yourself right now. So you might feel like a little bit vulnerable right now, and you kind of feel like you have to put on the extra glaze, just like you would put on an extra glaze for a pot, or you would put that extra sheen on that metal to make sure it's nice and sharp. Whatever you're adding on into yourself for those little protective barriers that we need to wear every single day, this just means that you have to step up your shield game or your personal aura game just a little bit so that you can start to shine as brightly as you want people to see you. So that glaze that you're seeing right now is that little bit of protection on, but it's more about you deciding I need to add some personal little safety nets for me to be able to live in my life right now. So that's kind of what I feel like you're going on right now. What's coming for you in the future? What do I feel for you? You have my leaf card. My leaf card is all about the cycle of life, death, rebirth. Life, death, rebirth. A tree literally dies every year and comes back to life every single year. Just like you have done a lot of growing and maturing in your life, and you've gotten a lot of things that you've had built up to this point, you have to sometimes let go of the old leaves in order to make room for the new leaves. So I kind of think you're in your process right now of getting ready to make a monumental change in your future, that you are starting to think about all the things that no longer serve you. They're no longer healthy leaves. They're not taking any positive energy for you. They're not doing anything for you right now. They're just allowing you to be there. They're ready to fall off so that the next time you start to wanting to grow and learn to be something better, that's what you're going to start working your way towards. Then we have your destiny card for today. And your destiny card is the embrace my embrace card. And that is all about accepting both sides of who you are. We all have a little bit of a masculine, a little bit of a feminine, no matter which way you decide to gender yourself. That's your personal choice. But we all have those DNA from each of our parents in there, and we have to learn to embrace both sides of who we are, even if that means just once in a great blue moon. We have to understand that sometimes we have to be a little bit more aggressive in our way of standpoints and being a little bit more of a warrior for ourselves, depending on how you want to consider that. It's not male, it's not female energy. It's the embrace of how you want to say, I love you. And it's kind of say, I love you to yourself, and kind of take that embrace and say, like, trying to give yourself a big old Lynn hug there and say, you know what? I'm going to be okay. I am going to embrace myself for who I am. I'm going to allow this change to happen. I'm going to allow this protection to be, and I'm going to allow this, you know, this change to actually become something that is worthwhile in the future. Now, if you would like a qualifying card on your leaf card, I will be happy to do that. If you want that, please say yes. If you do not, please say no, and then I'll give you my intuitional reading, my last intuitional thoughts if you need those as well. So. Okay, so we're going to draw you another card on this here, on your leaf card. So remember what your leaf card was, right? You have my willow card. Now, my willow card is about a certain lesson that I learned when I was a little boy. I had something happen to me that wasn't the most pleasant when I was a boy. I was abused by a babysitter that I didn't want to be around. I thought we were playing a game. I found out that I was something was wrong that day because I went to the class where you learned don't touch, good touch, bad touch, basically. Okay, back in those days when I was younger, um, that's kind of what we learned. But that wasn't the most upsetting part. The most upsetting part to me was is that when I found out something was being done wrong to me, and then I kind of went back and thought about all the times I thought that this was wrong. It kind of brought it forward. This made me so angry. I went out to a cornfield one day and I just started to release all of that negative, bad energy by kicking down about a row of cornfield on my way up to the hill that was on the in the trailer park where we lived. I got all of that bad, icky stuff that I was feeling inside out. When I got up to the hill, there was a willow tree on top of that hill, and there was a full moon out that night. It was a nice warm summer day. The it was just one of the most beautiful nights you'd ever want to imagine. After doing all of that running, I got really, really tired and I fell asleep down by that willow tree. And then something very special happened to me. I think I kind of cocked my head a little bit, maybe had a tiny bit of a concussion, not much of one, but a little bit of one, because when I was laying down, I was so tired, I kind of clonked the head there a little bit. During that time when I was asleep, I had a very special dream. It told me about what was to come, and it kind of let me know. In the universe decided to say, "Hey, we're here to help you." I heard this tree, or I heard the voice of my God, or the voice of my spirit guide say, "It's gonna be okay." And I kind of feel like this is the message you need to hear the most right now. That bad things have happened to you, but after this moment, you get to decide whether you live a good day or a bad day by simply believing that you are gonna be okay. That there is something out there that's got your back, that's got your universe is saying, hey, we're here to help you. So all this change and growth that you think that's going on right now, it's going to be about following your dreams, about following that one secret desire that you've always had to know that you can be okay. That dream led me to the life I am living now. I had to go through a lot of battles and a lot of things to get to the life I want to live now. But without those experiences, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So not every bad thing is done against you. Sometimes it's done for you. So I kind of want you to remember that going forward in your future. And definitely want you to remember one thing, that what my last intuitional thoughts for you are is it's I think you're in a period of personal growth, and I think you think it has to happen right now. And what I feel for you is you need to slow it down a little bit and really decide what concrete things you need to have in your life. What is the basic package of Lynn? What is that very bare minimum? What is the thing that no one can change? That's you. That's who you're going to be. No one can change this about me. I get to decide who that is. But moving forward into the future, I think it's going to be about you expressing that to a place where people will be not only able to appreciate that, but understand you better. So that's kind of what I feel like for you today. That's your reading, Lynn. I'm doing a cleansing shuffle for the cards in front of me. And, I like to tell this to everybody out there. The future is always in your own hands. No matter what I've told you here today, you have the right and responsibility to go live the life you want to live. Because today can be the best day ever if you want it to be. Either you have to get out of the situation you're in, or you have to find a situation that you want to be in. It's your choice to have that freedom every single day to go make those choices and decisions. So I hope that today will be the start of your best day ever. I really do, Lynn. Okay, it's time to reopen the window now. Look. You're very welcome, Lynn. I hope that helps you today. Yeah. That's what we do here. And we also just sit here, chat and chill, have some coffee with people, see how other people are doing. So if you have something you want to talk about here, want to get some advice on something, or I haven't lived a perfect life. In fact, I've lived a very messy life sometimes, but I've learned how to turn my life around so that now I live in a more positive way. I feel like I've done all the work that I need to do on myself right now that is more beneficial for me at this time. I'm still always constantly learning. I'm always constantly growing. I feel like I am who I am right now. I'm very comfortable with who I am right now. So, and getting to that point was one of the hardest journeys I've ever had to take. And that willow tree is basically spirit saying, they've got your back. You're gonna be okay. They're there for you. That's what that willow tree card really means. Because I'll tell you, that was one of those special moments in my life. If it hadn't been for that one moment in my life, I would be a completely different person today. I would. I just, that dream told me about all the things that would happen to me in the future, little key signposts that told me what was to come. So pay attention to those dreams tonight, because there might be something that's kind of telling you, hey, here's something you might want to kind of revisit or think about. Think about those old dreams and those old goals that you used to have when things were going on. But I understand strengthening that spirit. There are three different parts of ourselves that we have to take care of on a daily basis: our physical life, our mental life, and our spiritual life. No matter if you believe in a deity of power or whatever you want to call them, it doesn't have to necessarily be an outside force. It can be your highest self that you worship, if that's how you want to do it. It's just depending on you're believing in something greater than yourself that's going to help you become the person you want to be. And every day that I made a choice to say today will be my best day ever. When I woke up 4 years ago, I had my last suicide attempt. I'm a 7 times suicide survivor. I've lived in low income my whole life. I've tried to get good jobs and better jobs, but I've never been able to because of some of my learning disabilities keep me from doing some of those really high paid jobs. I could never become anything really, really extraordinary, but I found other ways to be creative and make contributing to my life. I always wanted to be a man of service or somehow, but I just didn't know what that meant until I got past all of my old stuff first. And I had to let that old life die, and I had to let this new person that I wanted to be born. And you know, going back into having some connection with them and those spirits. It's what's going to help you. Thank you very much for following BMF. I appreciate that from our Twitch account. It lets me know if someone follows me on one of the other platforms that I'm streaming on right now. I'm streaming on Facebook, on my Lucifer Productions page, on YouTube, on Unknown Prophet, and on my Twitch page, Unknown Prophet. So I kind of do this every morning. I've been experimenting this week with trying to do a couple of different things, but this might end June 3rd. I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep doing 3 simulcasts at the same time. Depends on how much I want to spend on stuff like that right now. Because finances aren't always the greatest for me either, but that's how life goes. I'm not trying to make money at this. I'm trying to help people. You want to give me a donation, great. But honestly, I'd rather have a review or like a follow or whatever, just like that person did. So, oh, and Lynn, one other thing I want you to know if you're still here, I want you to pay attention. I know it's going to sound kind of weird, but it kind of like every once in a while you see a little bit of glitter, kind of like a sprinkle in the foreground there in front of you. It's not like an eye migraine or anything like that. But if you start to see these little sprinkles in front of your eyes, it's your guides basically saying, "Open your eyes. We want to pay you, um, um, give you some information here. We might be sending you the sign you need." So I just got that for you. So you just want one card, Alan? And Louise, you just want do you guys want a full reading or you just want a card for today kind of a deal? Alan, you were first, so please let me know. You're first, and then Louise, you'll be next. All right, no worries. Thanks for that for stopping by, BMF. Have a great time on your vacation. So I'm more than willing to give you guys any kind of reading that you needed. A general reading. Okay, Alan. Um, Past, present, future then, and then if you want, like, we'll just do that's when people say general, I just give them the past, present, future. So I do two different kinds of readings here, guys. Just in case you want to know, I do your past, present, future, or I do a more complicated one where I take you on a journey through my journey layout, and just so you guys can kind of see this here, if that's something that you might be interested in. For anyone who's still in line, I take you down a journey down these different kinds of paths, and I will explain the layout to you when it gets to that point to explain it. So if you guys want that kind of reading, please let me know. Otherwise, I will just give you a normal 3 card reading. So you're up, Alan, and I just want to know that I need to know from you, how Alan, how many times you want me to shuffle my deck, 1 through 10. Thank you, BMF. One, two, oh, uh, I took a look. 2, 3. The cards are getting away from me today. 4. Now pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your answer is in my deck. 2 turns. Okay. 1. Okay, second card is your past. You have a present, and then a future with a destiny card. And let's get to your reading today. All right. So here's your reading. Let me take this little guide out there for a second so you can get to the whole picture there. So, um, in the past, you've been working on doing something that you've been trying to do for quite a long time. You felt like a lot of times you got my glaze card, first of all. My glaze card is all about you doing one thing. You've realized that you have to step up your protecting myself game just a little bit because you have been probably one of these people who trust people very easily sometimes. Now, that's not a bad thing, but you have to add that extra protection to not only keep you safe, but the people that you love safe sometimes. So you might have to consider that maybe you've been thinking about stepping up that part of who you are a little bit. I want you to think of it like you've just got done making the clay pot that you've been working on for months on. You just stop doing that and you start wanting to put that protective little barrier on yourself. It's not much of a protection, but something is better than nothing. And the reason there's a glaze that you see coming from this is because now not only do people see that you are protected, but that you are working towards becoming a little bit more self-empowered and standing up for yourself. That's a form of protection. That's a form of self-esteem is a form of protection. Being happy every day within living in the moment's a way of protecting yourself. There are a lot of different ways you can protect yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to become defensive. It just means you have to allow what you have to say. You can come in or you can't come in into the doors. What's going on in your present right now? You got my Unison card. Now, my Unison card is a very cool. Before I was the unknown prophet, I was Unison. I had two different parts of myself, two parts of my persona that I was at war with, basically. I thought I either had to be good or I thought I had to be bad. I either had to give in to my dark side or I had to give in to my light side. When I started my journey down um, my path after I had a very special dream that kind of told me about my future. Give me a second. I got burpees. Okay. But anyway, so getting back to your reading and being all serious now. So a little bit of a tea. But I had to realize that I couldn't be at war with myself anymore. I had to learn to walk that gray in between more than I walked on either side of the good or the bad. I had to walk that in between line that kind of led me towards being that person I needed to be. I needed to learn how to become a unison within myself, learning that I didn't necessarily have to be good. I didn't necessarily have to be evil. I could step into any place I wanted to be in the future, but I definitely had to start believing in myself and realize that I had the power to make that change. All I had to do was say, I love both of my sides of myself and try to find a way to incorporate them to become together. What's coming for you in the future? What may be coming for you that you might need to know about? You have my people card. Now, my people card is about learning something new in your life. We feel like we've learned everything we can learn about ourselves sometimes, but sometimes we have to go back into a rediscovery phase of how we want our life to be lived, how we want to do things in our life. We kind of have to go back to the school of life a little bit and relearn everything we've already learned. Why do we need to do this? Because if we don't constantly keep learning and keep growing and stuff like that, we become stagnant and we become a lot more, melancholy, and we don't feel like we're going anywhere or doing anything. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to go back to school. It just means you have to pick up some kind of a learning within about yourself, without others, maybe incorporating something that you have to reteach yourself, that you have to relearn again. And a reminder lesson that kind of said, hey, remember when this worked good for me? I need to re-implement that back in my life again. And remember the lesson it taught me. So it's kind of time for you to get ready to start doing that kind of a thing and learning and growing into the future. Then we have your destiny card, okay? And your destiny card is the share card. And this is kind of what I feel like your whole thing has been about. You feel like you're ready to start sharing more of yourself, but you still want to be a little bit more protected. You want to find a balance within yourself and you want to learn a little bit more. But you have to start sharing more of what you want in your life. You have to be a little bit more communicative about what your needs actually are. Notice I didn't say wants, I said need. You have to meet your need first before you can fill that want that you want to happen. If you're not meeting the needs you need every single day, the wants will never come and you will always want them because they will never get fulfilled because you aren't getting what you need right now. If you know the difference between a need and a want, I need water. I don't need the new car that will get me down the street and it's the best, most expensive car in the world. Okay, that's the difference between need and want. And you just have to be a little bit more open and communicative with your feelings and thoughts. You have to get more information and give more information in order to make a better choice and decision in your life. Then for you, Alan, I would like to ask you if you would like extra qualifying card pulled on the future card. That means I pull an extra card right out of the deck and I put it right on the top of your people card. And it's kind of like lets you a little bit more information if you want or need that. If you do, please say yes. Otherwise, say thank you, and I will move on to the next person. Sorry, I got itches. Okay, I'm going to do that. Uh-huh. So what do you need to relearn again? That thing that you would like to that you might need to relearn again. You have my fermentation card. I don't know if you know anything about making an alcoholic beverage or even if you consume them, but everything takes a little bit of time. When you're making a good alcoholic beverage, you have to pick out the right ingredients, the right kind of hops, the right kind of spices, the right kind of water you're using, the right kind of yeast, the right kind of sugar. This all has to go into something that has to take some more time for me to let this stuff brew in order for me to be able to get closer together. You're welcome, Lynn, and have a great day. In order for you to become the elixir that you want people to be able to go come up to you and be like to live. Like I have this I want to be liked complex. Okay, I'm not gonna lie about it. I have a small bit of an ego, but I want people to like me. But sometimes I'm not so great at crafting my beer to a flavor that people will be a little bit more like. Now that's subjective to people. Some people might like your beer, some people might not like your beer. But it's all about that process of getting that motion moving into the future. So the thing you might need to relearn again is a tiny bit more patience and allowing that ingredients that you've already put into your life to allow them to come to a maturity level where you'll be ready to use them and drink them. That is your reading for today, Alan. I hope you enjoyed that. My last intuitional thoughts for you, though, Alan, before you go, is I kind of feel like right now you're at this reawakening stage. You've realized a lot of you're getting close to what I would call fulfilling your life's purpose. You're getting close to what this thing is coming for you in this future, and you're getting ready to make this really big change in your life, and you want to know that it's going to be beneficial more for you. The only way that is ever going to work out is if you let go of that old stuff and throw out that old beer that wasn't tasting good and start over a little bit from scratch and allow you to be very selective about what you want to put back into your life again. That doesn't necessarily that people, places, things, whatever you deem worthy to be within your life. It's time to start picking and choosing a little bit more of what you need in your life. That's what I feel like that you need to know today. With that, that's your reading, Alan. Let me do a cleansing shuffle for next person in line, which I believe is Luis. Luis, you're the next one in line. Give me a second while I just kind of do a cleansing little shuffle for you. And if I remember correctly, you wanted the 5 card reading. So let me explain my 5 card reading to all of you guys. Good. I'm glad. That's what I try to do here, guys. I try to show you. Oh, did I freeze? Okay, my computer's kind of freezing a little bit here and there. So if something happens to me, I will be back, guys. Sometimes when it starts doing this kind of thing, I'm having trouble keeping up with everything. Doesn't normally happen, but sometimes it does. So I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so Luis, are you still here? Hello. Okay, so you want the 5 card reading. Let me explain my 5 card reading for everyone out there who might want one of these readings, okay? I see. Ding, ding. Okay. So as you can see on my screen here, this is how my layout looks when I put down the cards here. What I do is I take you on a journey down your past path, all your victories and defeats that you made up to this point. Well, we eventually have to turn around and face our future. Then we get to our waiting. That is what we are waiting for. What decisions and choices do we need to make a better choice for the rest of the life that we want to live at this moment? Okay, so I have to take consideration of the choices and decisions. Am I waiting for something to pop in my lap, or do I need to make the choice? Then we move forward to one of these other 3 choices that you will have. You can go down your hard path, which is one of overcoming adversity, getting to your goal very quickly, but you expend so much energy doing that, you have to take a break afterwards and a nice long break so that you will have the energy to keep that dream going and being motivated to keep wanting to do that. Then we have my easy path. It's a one step at a time approach, taking one small goal at a time, taking a small break, taking one small goal at a time. You don't get to your big goal very quickly, but you do eventually get there. It has more energy by the end of your journey there to keep you motivated and going into the future. Then we have my unseen path. That's that one thing that's been right in front of your nose the whole time of your whole life. It's been that one message that's been screamed at you so many times you don't see it anymore because you're too close to it. It's so out there and in front of you, you don't think it's important. But it's a little bit of your easy path, a little bit of your hard path put definitely one you carve yourself. You don't know necessarily where this path is going, but you know when you get there, it will be good. Then we have my home path, which tells you about what you need to incorporate within yourself or what you need to expel from yourself in order to feel more at home within your body or mind and starting. Okay? No, you don't. No, you don't. You're not going to restart on me. Don't you dare restart on me. Give me a second. I got to make sure my computer isn't going to restart because I'm going to update. Update now. Update after screen. So, sorry about that. My leap of faith card is all about the fear that you need to overcome. We all know what a leap of faith is, right? Well, we all know what we're jumping into. We're just not sure how we're going to land. So we're kind of looking for a little bit of advice about how to overcome our fears and how to make our landing a little bit more softer. But maybe we need that small little bit of hard land to realize that wasn't the right jump. That's why it's called a leap of faith, because you don't necessarily know how you're going to land. And then my last and final card is my wandering path card. That's the one thing you might not have considered today that has kind of seeking, is helping you seek out that new life and new pattern, something you might not have considered today. If you understand all of that, Luis, we will get going to your reading here. And all I need from you is to tell me how many times you want me to shuffle my deck, 1 through 10, okay? And please remember, if you guys can't give me any kind of a donation, then that's okay. I would rather have a review on my Facebook or a follow on any of my social sites. So please do that if you will. Only give me that dollar if you can afford to give me that last dollar. And I don't want the last one that you have to your name, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. You have a jumper. 7. I gotta go get the jumping card here. That gets to be your path not taken card if we have a jumper. Whenever a card jumps out of a deck, that usually means it's an answer that you really need to hear. So that will be the last card you get to see today. Okay, and I was on 7, so 8. All right, now pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your journey begins. I'm going to take this off here real quick. And we are working on trying to get an overhead camera around the first of the month because I was trying to buy one and it didn't go through, so it never arrived. So pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your journey begins, Luis. Give me a second to count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 6, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, and the 43rd card is now, 44th card is now on top. And I will lay these out for you. So I got to move some things out of my desk area here real quick. Alrighty. Please excuse me. I really apologize for that. I didn't say I wasn't a rude, crude, socially acceptable dude. I just said I'm a tarot reader. Sorry. If you want to rate that, that's just fine with me. I don't mean a coffee, gastrointestinal problems. Yeah. All right. So here's your reading for today, Luis. All right. So in your past path, you have gotten this card, what I call the enjoy card. You've had to relearn how to re-enjoy your life again because life has been basically a crap fest up till now. And you've had to relearn what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what brings you fulfillment, what brings you all of these things that are going on in your life. You had to relearn how to find your happy again. Hold that happy thought, Peter, because we're gonna fly. Okay, so it's time for you to reconsider that something just going on in your past. What you really need to know is it's time to find those happy memories and store them for that what you are going to need in your future coming up. Because all that bad stuff, you think it's bad? No, it's not. It was the change that needed to happen to get you to this point so that you could start living a life that would be happier for you. Because now you're going to make that choice to do that. You're going to say what I like to say every morning: every day can be my best day ever because I will it to be so, because I want it to be so, because I need it to be so. You know? So we're going to move on to the next card coming up in the future. I mean, in the next card in the deck, which is your weight path. And after this point, you will have to make a couple of choices, but trust me, they're not that bad. You'll do just fine. Okay. So, what is your weight path right now? What are you waiting for? What do you need to do right now to help you make a better choice and decision? You have my Witch's Tower card. Now, my Witch's Tower card is a very sacred space that I go to every once in a while when I feel like I need to announce to the universe, I am ready to be this person that I am saying I want to be. I basically go to this place and say, I have the power to be this. And then the universe goes, oh, okay, that's what you want, right? Are you sure you're ready for that? And then if I'm not ready for it, the mythical's 2x4 will hit me over the head and tell me how ready I'm not for that. But most times, often than not, it will allow me to start trickling down all the stuff that the universe thinks I'm ready for. This is just change and growth, designed to help you become that better person. It's time for you to start going to your personal place of power within yourself, within your faith, within even if it's a spiritual place you like to go to announce to the universe to say, hey, I need your help, but this is the person I want to be. Now the universe is going to respond by saying, here's all the things we know you can handle now, and go from there. But it's definitely time for you to start saying, I have the power and moving forward. Now you get to make a couple of choices there. You can either go down your hard path first, your easy path first, or your unseen path. And this is a part of your reading, guys, so please participate as much as possible. And I'll give you a couple more moments here to decide. Just to say once again, would you like to go down your easy path first? Unseen path. Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Okay, so what is your unseen path? That one thing that's been right in front of your nose the whole time you know about? You have my share card. Now, this is interesting because my share card in this specific position is saying to you, it is time for you to open up and tell people what you actually want. I think you kind of be this quiet, reserved person for quite a long time that doesn't like to share a lot about who you are. No wonder you're getting mixed messages from people sometimes because they don't know what you truly want, or what you truly need. You have to start opening up those lines of communication between your inner self, your highest self, and the deities of power that you worship, so that you can have a more constructive, open communication. The way you are going to learn and get the most beneficial information for you is not only share that which you're comfortable with sharing, first of all, but maybe it's time to kind of get into a group setting where you can be around people you know and trust, that you feel like you can be able to do that and get some practice in before you start doing it in the real world. That's kind of what I feel like that's your unseen path right now. So now you get to go down your next path after that. Which one would you like to go down? Your easy or your hard path? All right, your easy path. So what is your easy path? For you, Louise, sorry, Louise, it is about one thing. There are two different parts of who you are, but for you, your easy path is to accept that you are walking the gray in between. That you are not just a good person, not just a bad person. You are a human person who's capable of doing both, but you have to start walking more of a life of balance, or one that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a good guy or a bad guy. We all trying to survive the best we know how we want to go. Before I became the unknown prophet, I became Unison. let me tell you something about incorporating something that two warring shards of your side. I literally was on the precipice of deciding becoming the um, first person shooter who went into school and decided to take everybody out to becoming the hero of that story instead. I had to make a choice and decision in my life that allowed me to allow my negative feelings to come out, but in a good way. So that's when I started working on my art and my poetry and stuff like that. So I let all of those bad, icky things that were a part of me still be used for something good. Then I used all of that stuff that I liked about me and the stuff that to remind myself about what kept feeling good. But I had to learn how to walk a little bit more of that gray in between area where I can step into that light or that dark whenever I need to. And it's okay to come back to that place where I feel more centered and balanced. And hello, Red. Nice to see you here again. And then we have the next path that is on the list, which is your hard path. That's the only path that there is left to choose as far as the five paths go. But then we get to make a couple of choices along the way. So, what is your hard path? You have my glow card. My glaze card, not my glow card. My glow card is a completely different card. Oops, I saw the G and I assumed. But my glaze card is all about adding that extra protective barrier you need upon yourself. That one thing that you feel right now, if you feel like the world's against you, it's because you aren't putting up that personal protective barrier across itself. You need to remind yourself every day, every time you go outside, when you have that happy thought about who you are and loving yourself and being positive and being those things that you need to be, having those moments of sorrow, having those moments of anger, and allowing those to be used for constructive purposes. They're there to help protect you. You don't necessarily have to be defensive or necessarily have to be attacking about it. You can just simply say, no, I'm not willing to accept that energy for today. I need to move forward from that and move on my own journey. So it's kind of about you saying to yourself, I need that little bit of extra protective barrier surrounding myself. I need, if you believe in auras and shields and stuff like that, it's time to kind of up your shield and aura game where you believe in yourself a little bit more. That's the thing that's going to keep you protected and safe from those that which would cause you harm. It's not a very heavy barrier. This is my lighter shield, not like an extreme shield. Okay. So it means that you just have to step up that I need to protect myself game just a tiny bit. Now you get to make one more choice, and that is between your home card or your leap card next. Which one would you like today? Okay, your leap card. So what you need to take a leap of faith with, and I think this card's really gonna speak to you because I think that this is the thing you need to do the most. That the thing you're afraid of the most is you are a kind giving person. You're afraid if you stop giving to people or donating to people, that they won't like you anymore. What about you? How often do you donate back to self? How often do you give yourself the day off, the pep talk, the person who has the confidence to go up and talk to their friends who needs that extra support? It's time to start donating back to yourself that which you need. All that change that you've been working on, all that bad stuff that you thought you didn't need, you gathered up that change so that you can spend it somewhere in the future on what you actually want or need. That's what you have to start doing is start donating back to yourself. And you're afraid if you do this, that people will start to scatter like the winds and they won't want to be around you anymore. Well, they weren't your real friends anyway. The real ones will stick by you no matter what you change it to. They won't care. They will love you unconditionally and they will love you no matter what. Those are your true friends. All those other people who don't stick around in your life after you've made a change in your life, whether that's good or bad, those are the ones that are going to be there to support you when you need it. So you have to take back that good, kind energy for yourself again. Sorry, okay. My mustache issues. So, what is your home card? What do you need to bring within yourself in order to move forward? I feel like for you, you have my drive card. My drive card is all about maybe you feel like you've been stuck in one spot for a long time. No, you have been stuck in the same spot for a long time. You've been walking. It's time to start getting in the car and driving to your location. Maybe picking up the speed just a little bit on what you want to do and accomplish to your day be the best day ever. At the end of this road is not the end of your journey. It's just the end of this drive. So you get to decide what speed you're going. Do you have your snacks on the side? Do you have your sodas? Do you have your pretty music on? Are you rolling down the windows? Do you have a friend to talk to on your way to wherever you're going? It's important that you decide that it is time to start taking a more active approach in your own life. Stop letting people drive for you. It's time for you to get into the car and drive. Then we get to your last and final card. All right, card, and that is your wandering path card. Okay. Ooh, you will be next in line after I'm done with this reading, Ben. Okay. So this is your reading for today. Oh, sorry, your wandering path card. So that's this is a thing you might not have considered before. This is my mother's card. It's called the Gardenia Rose card. Okay. And what a gardenia rose is, it's one of the most resilient flowers out there. It can grow in any spot, anywhere, especially in the dark. My mom had a dark past. Okay. She didn't always have the best past, at least from what I remember to the rest of her life. Okay. Now, she was a good girl growing up, but she had her problems too. She battled with alcoholism, she battled with depression, anxiety, and a bunch of other things. But she had to learn how to grow in that darkness and become the beautiful flower that she needed to become. My mom always gave me the same advice that I wish I had listened to earlier. You have the power, you can do this, and all you need to do to make your dreams and goals come true is believe. And if I had just listened to those words and took her advice to heart, maybe I would have reached my goal a little sooner. It took me a lot longer to get there because I was your typical kid who thought mom didn't know best and I have to know everything, right? Well, it also might be saying that there might be a mother figure in your life. My mom was one of the most creative people out there. She loved to make bras. She was a woman of service too, sometimes to her own detriment. She helped more people than she helped herself. So that's kind of another card saying it's time for you to stop being the caregiver and being the one who's taken care of for a little bit. Well, thank you for lurking. So, I'm going to get to this next part, which I do here is that I do kind of an extra draw for you on any of these paths that you might need today. So, if you would like an extra card to show what a little bit more information onto that card might be, and as you can see on my screen, you can pick any position that you want in your reading to place it on. Okay, but only get to choose once. So if you need that, say yes. Otherwise, say thank you. We will move along, and I will give you your last intuitional advice for you before you leave. Okay, now I just need to know which position you want this card to go on. Where do you want the more information? In case you can't read my screen, you've got the leap card, the unseen card, the home card, the easy card, the wait card, the hard card, the wandering card, or the past card. Which one do you want your answer? Where do you need more answers? Luis, if you're still there, thank you. So just to kind of remind you what, oh, let me take this off again. Sorry. It's a little bit easier for me to do this when I do it like this. Okay. So this was So this is the extra card that I draw for you. I think you had the glaze card before. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Just give me a second to check my layout to make sure I did this right for you. Drive is unseen. Glaze is- So, you wanted to know about which card you needed for this one, right? Just wanted to make sure. And I have on the bottom, enjoy. Then on the side, I have unison on the easy, pupil on the hard, Witch's Tower is in the center, donate was in the fleet path. Sorry, I had a brain fart, so I have sometimes have this happen to me in readings. Well, I'm just gonna go with it. Um, I'm gonna wait to see what you said here, just to make sure. So where do you need to drive to? No, that was a pupil card, right? Give me a second. I'm gonna see what my intuitions tell me to tell you. I'm kind of I'm sorry about that. I really apologize. This doesn't happen a lot, but just get back into my intuition and thoughts of what I think you need to hear. But the share card was the communication card that you needed. That was what your unseen path was, correct? I wanted to make sure that that was the one. That was the your card was the share card that you wanted me to tell you about more of, right? So yes, if that was the card. Otherwise, tell me which card it was, please, because like I said, I apologize for that. Otherwise, I'll just go with my gut. Okay, good. So we're gonna draw a second qualifying card. Get in the car and drive was what you needed to do at home. So I'm gonna put my cards up to you again. Please tell me if you saw. I don't know what's going on here, but oh, okay. So if they said it was more about the learning card that you needed to do a little bit more with the sharing. It has something to do with you having to relearn to do something all over again in your life. That you have to add a little bit more protection onto it. And since I drew you that extra card that kind of meant something extra, was you have to allow some time for it to happen. So what I'm feeling here is, like I said, on the pupil card, there's a little bit of extra learning involved with you having to learn how to better protect yourself. But you have to share and open those communication barriers with not only with yourself, with others. But the thing you have to share the most about is remember that things take time. You have to give it a little bit more time for that information to come in for you to make a good choice and decision. You get to choose which kind of choices and decisions you get to make in your life. Okay. And do you want to be the finely crafted beer that you want to drink that is the good tasting one for you? Or are you trying to make this crafted beer for somebody else? It's time to start working on the crafted beer itself. What kind of sugars are you adding into there? What kind of hops? What kind of spices? How long are you going to let it ferment for? This is a process of taking a little bit of time for it to happen. So, giving yourself and allowing for things to kind of come and happen for you. And I think that what I'm really feeling here for you is this nagging feeling like you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just not conveying it the right way right now. But I'm going to give you my last intuitional thoughts because what I'm feeling for you is a little bit on the weird side. But um, is your mom still alive? And please forgive me. I'm not trying to say your mom's going to die or anything like that. But is your mother alive, or someone you would have considered a mother figure still alive? I think it has something to do with something that has happened in the past that you kind of need to ask her about. There's a question you kind of need answered. You have to kind of come to a relearning and understanding about it. That's what I thought you would say, but I don't like to make assumptions about what people. So, you know, And I think there might be some advice you need to get from mom right now that might help clarify something that there's an answer that you really need to be answered right now in order for you to make the right decision or to open up that lines of communications with her a little bit better to kind of say, okay, remember when this happened to me? And all I keep seeing is a road, a ball, a skateboard, and a big ass lake. That's what I'm seeing in my head right now, and I'm just seeing her giving you some kind of information about that experience or something that has to do with that. If that means something to you, and I think it does, but I'm just thinking that there's some more information you need about something that to make a better, more colorful answer for you. That's what I'm really feeling like you need to hear today. Please. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I really wish you the best of luck out there. You're very welcome. All right, now we're back on Twitch here. If Mr. Uh, step right up, test your strength. There, Ben, you are next in line. If you're still here, Ben, let me let you know. No, you're in line. Okay, my empty is queue is now clear. You are the first in line, Ben. What kind of a reading would you like today? Give me a second. I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a cleanse here real quick, just to kind of give myself a. I'm a little bit hot. Ugh. I put this bandana on so that I connect only with the spirit part of myself. I don't connect to the mundane self. But I'm human too, and I have memory issues once in a great blue moon night. Try and get that, I'm a little bit older sometimes, and things get lost in the head. But usually that happens for a reason. What kind of a reading do you need today, Ben? Would you like a simple past, present, future reading, or would you like the 5 paths journey layout? Just a general. Okay, so 3 card reading it is. Um, I need you to pick a number 1 through 10 after I do this cleansing shuffle for the cards from the last reading of what kind of answer you might want. How many times do you want me to shuffle the deck just for you? 1 through 10. How many times do you want me to shuffle the deck for you? This is your shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your answer is in my deck. Give me a second while I count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and the 32nd card is where your answer is. Oh, that's why. Like, why is are my cards being like that? They got wet. That's why. This my bad. I spilled some hot coffee on my little place where I put my cards in so they don't get so dirty. Now they're just wet. So, but I'm all still ready to go. I'm just gonna start drawing these out for you here. Okay. All right. So here's your past, present, and future reading for you for today. Okay, and then so Ben, this is what it's been about for you today. Um, in the past, what you've had to kind of do is you've had to go to your personal place of power. You got my Witch's Tower card, which is all about announcing to the universe, I am ready for something better. So in your past, you kind of had to get to this point where you finally feel like you're ready to start living the life you've always wanted to live. No one's going to get in your way this time. No one's going to stand in your way this time. It's time for you to stamp up in that personal place of power, either in your church or your home or your work, and say, hey, I am ready for more. But once you said that to the universe is going to start trickling down all the things it thinks you can handle. It's going to try to fill the things you are asking for. When that happens, you really get tested by saying these things are coming to you, and if you're not ready for them, you're going to hit with a mythical 2x4 over the head, and you're going to get knocked down and shown just how much you aren't ready for that. But if you're truly ready, things will start moving in a more positive direction. Now you might take one step back, but you will take 10 steps forward, going to the future by doing this process. So you might feel like you're going backwards for a little bit. This is just the change you need in order to make what you truly want be that. Then what I see for you going on presently, it's all about you and enjoying what's going on in your life. And when you get this card in the present path, it means it's time to start taking a little bit more and enjoying life for what is coming. Every single day has to be one that you make it the best it can possibly be. Maybe you've been a little bit down on yourself lately. Maybe you've been trying to figure out why these bad things haven't been happening or these good things have been happening. Why does it feel like I can't find my joy? Because you have to decide today is the day. I'm going to start living the happiest life I'm going to live. And you have to start saying, today will be my best day ever because I want it to be, because I need it to be. It's about starting to enjoy those things that you have coming within your life that are allowing you to start opening up. So, kind of enjoying the little things a little bit more. And I think your future card will kind of definitely tell you about that because it's kind of like one of the cards that whenever I see this card, I kind of giggle a little bit because people go, "Isn't that my mouth?" Ah, yes, it is my mouth. Okay, you have my feed card. What does my feed card mean? It is time for you to start feeding yourself a very good, fortifying, beautiful meal. Think about going out to your favorite restaurant. Now think about your life. And I want you to take every last little flavor that's on that plate and I want you to taste it. I want you to savor it. I want you to enjoy it. It's time for you to start enjoying the savory different flavors of life a little bit and giving yourself that which you do want to consume. Now we all want to try something new once in a while. We all like to get in our comfort zones that are things we don't want to get any kind of new experiences whatsoever. But if you don't give yourself that one chance to maybe be wrong, you might not discover it was the best tasting thing you've ever had. I had a really good experience not about 6 years ago, where me and my wife we used to live in Florida, and you're saying to yourself, "Why did I move back to Minnesota?" Because we hated it there. Okay, but once we moved back to Minnesota, we found this little sushi shop that just opened that day. When we came back, we decided we needed some sushi after a long drive, stuff like that. We had one of the most flavorful, best prepared meals we've ever had, ever. It was so much, and we took this time to really just saying, basically, yeah, be open to new opportunities because it's time for you to really start that enjoyment phase that's coming for you in this life. First, you stand for personal power. You say you're ready for it. Well, now saying get ready for joy. Are you truly ready for happiness in your life? Once you get that happiness, are you going to savor every flavor because you don't want this bad thing to keep happening to you again? Because your destiny card is saying this is what you're trying to break free of. You have my ice card, which means you feel like you're locked in place, like you are literally trapped in a block of ice and you're chipping away at getting out of the ice. Well, all ice melts no matter how cold it is, and I believe that you're on the last little ice cube that you're just chipping away out of your life so that you can start making better and decent choices for yourself. So it's all been about one thing. I don't want to feel trapped and locked anymore. I want to start making some movement in my life. I don't want to just doing the status quo anymore. I want to start doing something a little bit more. Well, in order for things to start to melt, you have to have that movement. You have to have that heat, that energy, that positivity for the ice to melt. So I've got kind of what I'm feeling from this card is basically saying it's time for you to break off that ice and get going, basically. What are you waiting for? It's basically what that card is basically saying, especially in the destiny position. Now, if you would like, I can draw you an extra qualifying card on your feed card that will let me know if you need any other information from the future, I can draw you a qualifying card. If you need that, say yes, I will give it to you. Otherwise, say thank you, and I will move on to the next person who may need a reading today. Okay, so that makes kind of sense. So, what do you have to start putting back into yourself that you need to relive? Now, you've done this a lot in your life, but I kind of need you to remember this again. You have my dirt card. That doesn't mean put dirt in your mouth, okay? Not saying that you need to put dirt in the mouth, okay? That means that you have to allow all the things that you don't want, that don't taste good, start being a part of that new compost pile that's going to start turning into that life giving nutrient dirt. You're basically then laying down the new soil to start planting a new beginning. What you have to start feeding yourself is that new beginning. I truly feel that what you need to do is you have to realize that the old life has ended. You have to finish a mourning process of some kind. You have to kind of finish grieving the old life in order to move forward so that you can start putting in this fertile ground that has all that icky bad stuff. Remember what is a fertilizer turn into? Fertilizer is shit. What you can grow the best kind of crops in fertilizer because that helps that plant grow. That's all the stuff that has happened up to this point. This card is basically saying now is the time to plant. Now start planning on what you want to do. Start making goals. Say to yourself, this is the plant I want to be within my life. How am I going to grow it? How am I going to take care of it? Start making a little bit of a plan involved with it. But it's more about allowing that now to start that beginning growth process. And that is your reading for today, Ben. And my last intuitional thoughts for you are that I think that this new life that you've kind of walked into right now is not as easy as you thought it would be, but it's going to take time for it to happen. And honestly, I think you're on the right track. I think you just have to make the choice to be happy with what you've got and search for the things that are going to fill you and make you a better, more whole person in the end. You've got to start doing what is right for you for a change instead of what's right for everybody else. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Just get myself a little. It's getting a little hot in here, and my cat was being annoying, so I had to close the door. So now it's even hotter in here, and I need a cigarette. So I'm going to take a little bit of a small smoke break. I'm still here, guys. We can still chat and chill. I just need to take off my bandana for a second so I can do this. Shake out the gut. Shake out the light. You're very welcome, Ben. I really hope that that helped you out today. Please, guys, remember, all I really want is a review on my Facebook page, a like, a follow, a subscribe, something to let me know that I helped you here today. That's what I really want. If you want to add an extra dollar into my box, into my pocket, you can go to any of my social sites and donate if you would like to donate. But I don't want your last dollar. I want you to come here get the information that you needed for you today. That's just a nice way of you saying thank you if you can. I don't want your last dollar. I want what you feel I deserve, what you felt I earned today. And I take any amount as a positive because even if I just get $1, that means today you felt like I deserve something. Even if you didn't have all the money in the world, you could still do that. But like I said, please just do me that they were giving me that review. That's the best way to show me that I did a good job today. Thank you for following, by the way, Ben. Appreciate that. That's see right there. That's how you show me love. You gave me a follow today, and that makes me feel like I did a good job. I'm awesome. You know, everything else is a bonus after this point. So that's what we do. That's what I do here, guys. I try to help you find the best possible path for you. Remember, no matter what I've told you here today, you have the right and responsibility to go live the life that you want to live. You have to decide today will be your best day ever, and then start living that every single moment that you can. Because the second you say, I'm going to be happy, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to be happy, and I'm not going to hurt anybody trying to do that, that's when your life starts to work out the way you want it to. Because you're finally living the thing that you need in your life. We're all separate creatures, but we're all social creatures at the same time. You have to find a balance. But remember, we can only be good people to others when we're good to ourselves. So remember that, guys. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can also throw me a emoji, a heart, or a like on there too as well. If you're on Kick, you can, like I said, you just did it. You said you followed me. You gave me some pretty words. Send me a little bit of a review on my page there. You can go up into my little links there, and it says Facebook Unknown Profit Reviews. So I'm going to drop that in the link one more time just because it looks like it didn't paste all the way. So, all right, guys, that's the best way for you guys to show me that I did a good job today. Just give me a review and tell me how I did today. That's the best way you can ever show me the love. You sure can, Elena. What kind of a reading would you like today? Would you like a past, present, future reading, or would you like a more detailed reading like one of my journey layout? This is my journey layout. I take you on a journey down each of these paths, explaining how they can benefit you, giving you more choices about what you may want to know. Otherwise, I do a typical past, present, future reading. You can have whichever one you want. If you need me to explain my path to you, I will be happy to explain how that layout works. If you need a more explanational kind of a reading, you let me know what you need. That's what you get. Okay, I can sure to answer that question. How would you like the answers presented to you? Do you want a simple answer, or do you want a more complicated answer that might give more um, answers? That's what I need to know more of. I will be happy to try to answer that question using my cards. I just want you to think about what you want to know. Keep that in your mind while you're thinking of what kind of a deck, what kind of a layout you want me to use. Okay, we'll do the five paths. Do you understand all of my layout, or do you need me to explain it? Okay, so for some people who might have been here before, but for anyone else coming in, this is how my journey layout works. First, I tell you about your past path, all about your victories and defeats that you may have made up to this point. But eventually, we have to turn around and face the future. That's what the past path is about. Then, when I move on to your wait path, that is a what am I waiting for card, or what choices and decisions do I need to make a good one going forward? What do I need to consider right now that might help me make the best choice? Then you have a choice to make after these next three cards. You have a choice to make between your hard path, which is one of overcoming adversity, getting to your goal as quickly as possible, but you spend a lot of energy doing that. So you need to take a break afterwards, maybe even a long break, so that you can have energy to keep going with that goal. Then you have my easy path, which is more of a one step at a time approach. You make small little goals, you take small breaks along the way, make small goals, get to your big goal eventually. It takes a little bit longer to get there, but you have way more energy to keep that dream going after you're finished with that. Then my unseen path, it's that one thing right in front of your nose that you've known that has been there your whole life. It's the thing that screamed at you so many times you can't see anymore. It's that one thing you aren't able to see anymore. So you got to kind of pull away from it and see the big picture. It's a tiny bit of the little bit of the easy, a tiny bit of the hard, but it's definitely one you forge yourself. You're not quite sure where this one is going to lead, but you know it's going to lead you to where you want to be. Then you have my home path. That's all about what you need to bring within yourself or what you need to expel out of yourself in order to live more at peace within yourself. Then my leap of faith card is all about that jump that we take when we have to overcome our fears and what kind of choices and decisions we need to make. We're all scared about the jump. It's not necessarily the jump we're scared of. We know what we're jumping into. We just don't know how we're going to land. So it's about how that landing may or may not open up to you, but it's about how I can overcome my fears and what I might be jumping into might be helpful. Then my wandering path card is all about the one thing you might not have thought about before, the completely different path you might not have thought. It's not one that has any direction whatsoever. It's just you kind of wandering and going with the flow of like maybe something you might not have considered before. If you understand all of that, say, I understand, and we will move forward with your reading. While I take a quick drag of my tobacco here. Good. Now, here's what I need from you after this point forward. I need from you to tell me how many times you would like me to shuffle my deck 1 through 10 for you. And I got to do a cleansing shuffle here. I want you to think about that. So now I've done a cleansing shuffle at least 5 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I need you to pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your journey begins. One moment while I count that card. 31, 32, 33, 30, oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and the 32nd card is where we begin your layout. Okay. I'm just laying the cards down here. After this reading, I will need to take a restroom break, guys. So, all right, give me a second here. Alrighty then, I got my cards all laid out for you. Here we go with your reading. Okay? You will have to make a couple choices and decisions along the way, but I'll let you know when that is. Okay. So first of all, your past path. Okay. You have my donation card. My donation card is all about one thing, especially when it's in the past. You are probably one of the more giving people in the universe who like to help people a lot in your life, but you are very hard about giving back to yourself. So you've been trying to reevaluate what you need to bring back into your life that is going to be more beneficial for you. All the things that have happened up to this point have been the change you've been gathering along the way, but it's time for you to start spending it. Now, are you going to be giving that away? Are you healthy and able to give that energy away? Or do you need to start taking more of that energy for yourself, doing some of the things that are important to you to help guide you? Maybe you need to donate back to yourself some more self confidence. Maybe you need more fortitude. Maybe you need more strength, more determination. You can donate back to yourself that which you truly need in your life. And you've been kind of considering this up to this point. And then we go on to your weight path card, which is what am I waiting for? Or what choices and decisions do I need to make? You have my sleep card. Now, my sleep card is about you having to add that extra protection barrier. You know, if you've ever been in any kind of weather that is wintry, whether sleet hits you or not hits you, we all know what that cold, stinging feeling is in our life where we kind of feel like these little jabs are kind of coming into our bodies and kind of hurting us all over the place. This only happens when one thing happens. We forgot to put on our rain gear. We forgot to dress for the weather ahead. So it's time to start adding some extra protective barriers onto yourself, maybe a little bit stronger than what you've been doing up to this point. I want you to think of it like this. Think of it like you are a house, and either you have an open door where you can allow anybody to come in. These are the people you trust the most, the people you know you don't have to worry about, the people who are always welcomed in your life. Or do you need a screen door? One where you can see the people, you can hear the people, but you don't necessarily have to let them in. You can still communicate effectively through a screen door, but you're not accepting every last little thing about them. Or you can have my closed door. The closed door is all about keeping people out. You will have that one little peephole to see who they are, but these aren't the people you trust quite that well, and you kind of want to keep them at a distance because you want to make sure who they are before you let them in. Then you have my Fort Knox door. The no one's going in, no one's going out. I need to deal with myself and only myself right now, and I need to move forward. So I want you to think about it, putting on those protectional personal shields like a door that you visualize in your head. Whenever you feel that you need that extra little protection, imagine one of those doors in your head and what you are allowing in today and what you are not allowing in. Excuse me. Now, now you have some choices to make. Would you like to go down your hard path, your easy path, or your unseen path? Okay, what is your easy path telling you? So, what is your easy path saying that you need to do? You have my past path card. Now, in this position, it means this, that it's time for you to start taking a little bit more of a reflective look at back at what you've gotten through up to this point. Do you realize that you have made it past the most difficult part of your life so far? That you have a future in front of you? You just have to start facing it. You have to start moving yourself towards that which you truly desire. Maybe you've been living a little bit too much in the past. Maybe you haven't been taking those lessons to heart. Gather up the good things that you want to carry with you and leave the rest behind because it's not serving you any purpose anymore. You need to leave some of that behind because somewhere down the road, that might be the change you need to spend back on yourself again to remind yourself exactly what kind of a change you need. Remember what your past path card was, that donation card, right? Donating back to self. Well, it's time for you definitely to start taking a little bit more of an approach of now donating back to your soul, back to your mental, back to your physical self. You need to start taking better care of yourself a little bit there. Then we move on to either your hard path or your unseen path next. Do you want to go down your hard path next or your unseen path next? Okay. So what is your unseen path? You have my temper card. Now, what does my temper card mean? You have started to work on yourself and you have started to get yourself ready for what you need to become and what you want to become. First, you had to fire the kiln up and get it really ready to be striking hot. You had to build up all of that stuff, like your confidence level, your faith level, your strength level. Take up all of those positive things you have in your life, and you had to start using that. That was the forge. I mean, that was the fire. And the forge that you're putting in, what kind of materials are you putting in to that forge? What are you going to make your new tool? What kind of a tool do you want to be? Do you want to be the cup? Do you want to be the fan? Do you want to be the sword? Or do you want to be the shield? the sword of defending, the shield of protection, the fan of control, the cup of life, or the cup that you want filled or emptied. You have to decide the kind of shape that you best represents who you are. But remember, when you're tempering something, especially if you know anything about metalwork, when you're tempering something, it takes a lot of force for you to put that shape into purpose. All the stuff that has been happening to you has been that little anvil onto that metal, just shaping you to who you want to be. Now you have to kind of temper yourself back up again, so that you know that all the stuff you've been through has added to your strength, has added to all those positive attributes of your life. So now it's your turn to start deciding what kind of a shape you want to be. Then we move on to your hard path next, because that's the next one we choose in this path after this point. So your hard path, right? It is time for you to start looking in that. Okay, I can stop there for right now, because what you have to consider here is maybe that's what's going on between you and Brandon. There's some redefining of what that you want that shape to be, because there's something that has happened in the past, because you need to start donating more to yourself and feeling better about yourself before this can be something going on in the future. So that's why I'm saying that this is a part of the reading, but this is the part that you need to understand the most. That you have to realize that you are not, that you have to look back into your darkness again and realize that you are the light in the darkness, that you are the one who is the shining, brightening person. And I think that that's kind of what's happening right now is that it's a moment of reevaluation. They're looking back at themselves. You're looking back at themselves. You both have to realize you're both the light that you want to be to make this go forward into the future. It's time to take a longing, deep look and to realize that you don't have to be in the darkness anymore. You can turn yourself around and face the light. You no longer have to be facing the dark away from the light. You can turn yourself around and now look towards what you need to be. So, and then I will get to your question completely at the end. This is just explaining to you this is what the situation is looking like so far. So, if I were to go by just what I have so far, uh, probably what's going on right now, there probably needs to be a little bit of donation on both of your part. You both need to donate back to each other a little bit and donate back to yourself. You both have to kind of put on that protective barrier that keeps you a little bit more safe, upping your shield game a little bit, because you want to start taking a path of reflection back to what may have caused the problems in the first place. So not revisiting those past mistakes so that you make them again, because you want to become a new tool. You want to be able to decide what you guys want to be together or what you want to happen with you together. And you're both kind of doing these answers. You're both having these moments in life. You're both having these moments of these. I have to decide who I want to be in this relationship. Well, there's some time there. That means they have to consider and shape themselves into the tool they want to be before they're ready to tell you. I have to look back into that mirror and realize that I am the light in this picture, and I want to share my light with you. Then we go to your either your home path next or your leap of faith card next. And I will give you my last intuitional thoughts after your reading, Elena. It might not seem like I'm answering your question right now, but I am. All right, your home card. What is your home card? You got one of my other path cards in the home card, right? You have the hard path. Now, what does the hard path mean? It's one of determination and overcoming obstacles. So I want to ask you a question. Have you asked the question yet? How do you feel about it? Because that's going to be the harder path. Because then you're putting yourself out there. You have to risk being hurt. That's why that's a valley, that's a hill, that's something you have to overcome to get to the goal that you are seeking, that you want. And maybe you feel like this is not the relationship you want to be in, and you have to decide that that's not the hill you want to go over and stuff. What's going on right now is it's time for you both to decide how much you want this. Have you asked the question? How do you feel about it? Have they asked you how you feel? Have you opened those lines of communication so that you can both have those answers that are ready and better for you? Remember, this reading is supposed to help you determine that. And this hard path is basically saying, hey, maybe if you've been taking this path, maybe you need to ease back a little bit and take an easier path. That doesn't mean you have to go all full tilt kitty. You just gotta have to wait, take one step at a time approach to it. So maybe this is another thing that you need to consider. Maybe you've been doing this too long, and you need to start moving it into a little bit more easy going, not expecting so much, allowing it to happen the way it's going to happen. Then we have your leap of faith card, the thing you're most afraid of, right? And I think this will speak to you the most because it is definitely giving you an answer to the question. You have to stop being at war with that part of yourself and being at war with this other person. Two halves of the soul are deciding we don't want to be at war anymore with one another. We have to put down our swords and accept each other for who we are. We have to do this within ourselves too. Until we can feel good about ourselves, until we can feel love for ourselves, we will never be ready for love anywhere else. We have to love ourselves to a certain point first before we're ready to accept another person into this equation. Remember, they're their own unique person with their own unique feelings, going through their own unique path. They have to decide they want to come with you and be a part of your journey, not necessarily. So stop trying to fight it all of the time, or stop trying to fight against it, or all this stuff. Allow it to happen. It's time to put down the swords and start to kind of sign a compromise. And maybe there was a fight or something. I kind of think there was something that kind of happened there that kind of made the situation pop out, and you're wondering what's going on there. Well, you both need to say, I forgive myself, and still say, I forgive you at the same time. Because when I look at your wandering path card, that is telling me it is definitely one of taking a little bit more letting things to happen card. In my fermentation card, just like a lot of things, when you're crafting a nice, well, good brew, when you're making a good wine or good beer or elixir, whether you drink alcohol or not, I'm just using it as the analogy, you have to decide what kind of things you want into this drink that you both want to sip from. You both have to decide what kind of water we're using, what kind of spices we're using, what kind of hops are we using, what kind of sugars and yeast are we using. Now, how long are we going to let this ferment for before it becomes good and done and ready? When we're done, do I like the taste? Do you like the taste? So it's one of cooperation, but definitely it's within allowing this patient things to happen in a more natural progression. I think you're trying to rush it a little too much right now and trying to want this answer right now. Well, if you want the answer right now, go ask. If you want to be able to let this relationship become something a little bit more beneficial for you in the future, because here, I'm going to go straight to my intuitional thoughts here, okay, before I go any further, okay? Because what I'm really feeling from this whole situation is one, number one, there has to be more communication there. There's not enough communication. Both have to be able to communicate openly and honestly about how you're feeling. Even if that means the answer you don't get, the answer you want, you don't get. If you can't be friends, or you can't just be one thing or the other, if you feels like you are more of a friend than a love than a lover, or you whatever kind of relationship you want to happen there, you both have to start deciding that together as a team you want this to happen. That happens when both parties can agree to that. The only way you get to find out that information is if you communicate openly and honestly with one another. If when you're ready to be ready for that no answer possibly, because like I said, I can't tell you what he's thinking and feeling right at this exact moment because he's still deciding. He's there might I like to use this analogy. Me and my wife, we thought it was too good to be true that we found one another. Okay, we found someone each other on a on a day we didn't expect to find each other. Okay, I wasn't looking for her; she was looking for me. Okay, I wasn't quite ready yet; she was. Okay, I still had a little bit of cooking left to do. She was ready to rock and roll. I had to finish up some of the things going on with me before I was ready for that relationship. Then, when it finally came to pass, and we both believed that it was something, we had to believe it was good to be true. Sometimes what good to be true is good to be true, but you have to believe in it. That's the first step you have to take. And I really think that for you, it is time to kind of do this. I want you to go get a piece of paper and I want you to put down all the attributes of Brandon. And hello, Alicia. We'll talk to you a little bit. I'm in the middle of a reading, so but put all the attributes about what you like about this person. Do they meet the attributes that you really need in your life? Do they meet your criteria? Do you meet his criteria? Okay. And how do we start working that together? And I think that's the thing you need to hear the most right now is that you got to give it a little bit more time. Be prepared for that no, maybe a little bit more protective. I think you're going to get yes, but it's not going to come when you want it. It's going to come in its own time, unless you're willing to put yourself out there and risk the asking and getting that reply you don't want. If that makes any sense. But when I look over your whole reading and I ask myself, what does this all mean? It's about the donation of each other's time. That might be it too. It might just be donating time. There might not be enough time. Maybe the protective barrier is saying to yourself, I am good enough for this person. That's a protective barrier. Maybe you have to revisit what has happened in the past so you don't make those past mistakes. You have to realize that you are the light in the darkness together. You don't have to be facing the dark, unknowing and unseeing what this problem is. You now have to face the light and bring it into the full view. You want to do that because you're tempering yourself into the shape you guys want yourselves to be. So do those work together or do these not work together? Well, you have to both be your own individual person before you can be ready to be with another person. Are you going to be putting down the swords and stop fighting about the little nitpicky things and be able to accept that person for who they are, wholly and completely? Then remember, you don't necessarily have to go down in one determination. Maybe take your time with it a little bit. Let it savor that flavor. Let that thing ferment into that really good port wine from 1776 that's supposed to be the best wine you could possibly drink. Can you imagine having that life with this person? And that's the last and final thing I want to say to you. It's all about that belief. If you want this to happen, first you have to believe it can happen. Then it takes both of you to decide if that is going to be. Remember, it's not only depending on you, it's depending on the other person. I hope that helps you today and gives you a little bit more answers. I am willing to draw you an extra qualifying card on any of the paths I will show you in the screen right now. So if you want one card on top of any of the cards you see in this picture that will qualify a better answer for you, I will happily draw that for you. If you would like that, say yes and tell me where it belongs in my deck or on the layout. If you don't, say thank you and I will move along. And good morning, Alicia. Elena, do you need any more answers or are you good? And did I answer your question? All right, Sugar Cube on. I'm trying to tune in to hear what my guides are saying here. Just give me a second. I think I think that it could possibly happen today. I think that there's something kind of that has to work itself out. I think it's a timing issue. I really do. I think it's just a timing issue. And to I think it's just you're missing you're misfiring at the wrong moment. You're firing at the wrong moments and you're missing the cues. I don't think he's either getting the signal or maybe you need to up your flirt game a little bit. But I kind of am seeing that kind of a thing. I think it's kind of like you have to make him see you a little bit, be that shiny pebble he wants to pick up and check out. So make yourself a little bit more, ready to be seen and allow him to know that the whole true you so that when he does finally decide he wants to be a part of your life, that will be the true person he wants, not this fake mask you want to put on that he thinks you will like. Be the true you and you will always get what you are looking for. I think it will happen today. That's what my intuitions are telling me. I might want to say, hey, want to get together today? And why are you leaving all the choices up to him? Why aren't you making some of these choices? So that is your reading, though. I hope that helped you today, Elena. I really do. Well, no matter what I've told you guys here today, remember, the future's always in your own hands. You guys have the right and responsibility to go live the life you want to live. No matter what I've told you today, it's still up to you. Do I have to be more blunt? How badly do you want it? You have to ask yourself, are you ready for that? Because if you're more blunt and you reject that, are you ready for that? All right, Sola, thank you very much for saying if you want to get a private reading from her, but I would like to ask you that be your only time you do that during this stream. I don't mind you promoting, but like she just said, no. Okay? But that's your one time here. Do not do it again. You came here for a reading for yourself today. That's what I'm here to do. So please do not do any more comments about if you're asking for people for readings. If they want to come to your channel, they will. They came to me for a reason. All right, Sugar Cube, you are up. All right, blocking user now. I gave you 3 chances. Sorry about that, guys. I gave you 3 chances. She got to promote herself 3 times. I asked her to stop doing it. She didn't. Therefore, she's blocked. Someone did that to me, and I'm just realizing maybe I need to do the same thing here. So, welcome in, Sugar Cube. And give me a second to just do a cleansing shuffle. I've got to go use the restroom real quick before I do any more readings. So give me 1 second. I will be right back. I've got to go take a restroom break first. So please stay. I will be right back. Okay? Oh, and I'm a little stiff. All right. Thank you very much for your patience, Sugar Cube. I really do appreciate that. All right. Let me get the old bandana back on here real quick, and we'll get ready here. All right. So let me take this off real quick here. Okay. Sugar, welcome on in. I'm back here ready for you. What kind of a reading do you need today? Would you like a past, present, future reading, or would you like a 5 card journey layout reading? Look, do you want more answers or little answers? I guess that's the best way to ask you. Eric, are you still here? All right, good. You're still here. All right, what kind of a reading would you like today? I know sometimes there's a little bit of a lag um on YouTube sometimes, so please be patient. Abdul, you will be the next in line after I'm done with this current reading. I'm just getting started on, so stick around if you would like your reading. Okay? Okay, a love reading. I can give you a love reading. Do you want do you want a simple answer or do you want a or do you want more answers? Having more information during that might be beneficial for you, but I want you to get the kind of reading you need today. Okay, so I'm going to put this back up on the screen here real quick. I have to explain my layout because I haven't seen you here before. This is my journey layout. Okay, my journey layout is all about one thing. I tell you about your past path, all the victories and defeats that you have made up to this point, but you eventually have to turn around and face your future. That takes you to your waiting path. That's the what am I waiting for? What decision and choices do I need to make in order to make a better choice for myself into the future? Then I take you down one of 3 different paths. I either take you down the hard path, which is one of overcoming adversity, getting to your goal very quickly, but you spend a lot of energy doing that, so you need to take a long break afterwards. Or you have my easy path. That's one of doing one step at a time approach, making small goals, taking small breaks along the way. You don't get your goal as quickly, but you do eventually get there. You don't spend so much energy doing that that you have more energy for the dream ahead. Then my unseen path is that one thing that's been right in front of your nose the whole time, that one signpost that's been screaming to you the entire time. You just haven't taken the time to pay attention to it because you're so close to it, you don't see it anymore. So it's kind of like to get the big picture. It's a little bit of the easy path, a little bit of the hard path, but definitely when you carve yourself. Then I have the home path, which tells you about what you need to bring within yourself or what you need to expel from yourself in order to feel more secure within who you are. Then my leap of faith card. What are you afraid of? What fears do you need to overcome? We all know what a leap of faith is, but it's not about the jump part. It's about the how we're going to land part that we're the most scared of. What kind of a landing can you be expecting, or what do you need to be prepared for when you make that jump? Then my wandering path card is about that one thing that you might not have considered before, that one path that might you might not have thought about that could be helpful for you to reconsider and think about today. If you understand all of that, say, I understand, and we will move on with your reading. Okay, now here's what I need from you. I need you to tell me how many times you want me to shuffle the deck for you, 1 through 10. 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, come on. And 7. All right, sugar cube. Now I need you to pick a number 1 through 52. That's where your journey begins. 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The 17th card is your reading. Give me a second while I lay these out real quick here for you. Up. Come on, get up there. There we go. I love you. Say goodbye to my wife. She's going to be gone all day on medical appointments, so I wanted to say goodbye. I love you before I start your reading there, sugar. All right, sugar, here is your reading for today. So, in your past path, what has been going on? You've been working on this new, brilliant, beautiful person that you have made up to this point. You're very proud of who you are and what you have become. Yeah, 5 seconds ago, she was saying something to me, and I was just saying goodbye to her. So, yeah. But it's all about the beautiful flow that you have within you. It's kind of like think about it like a woman who's just gotten pregnant, or a person who's just gotten the best job they wanted, or that goal or thing that they've just succeeded in doing. They have that glow about themselves. They have that idea of what they want to do here in the future. You know, so you've been working on this person for quite some time now, so you feel like you're finally ready for this the next relationship. Okay. Hello, only. I am in the middle of a reading right now, so you'll have to wait your turn, but I will be happy to get you as soon as I'm done with this reading here. I have Abdul next, and then only is next in line. Okay? Thank you very much. I'm sorry about that. But, it's about you finding that inner love within yourself. You finally come to that acceptance, and moving forward to your future. Now, what is your waiting path telling me? What have you been waiting for? What choices and decisions do you need to make? It is time for you to start finally saying, I am balanced. Not I need to find balance. I am balanced. You finally have resolved the good parts and the bad parts of who you are. You've come to this conclusion that you need to start walking more of an in between both of those parts of your life. We are human beings. We make mistakes. We do things wrong sometimes. We have to stop being so hard on ourselves because sometimes we are way too critical of ourselves. That can be some bad attributes we don't like, but sometimes those are the things that keep us the safest. It also keeps us from moving forward into other things we want to do. Or we walk ones of light where we're always positive, we're always upbeat, but sometimes that's a lot of energy for a lot of people to want to be a part of. You have to find that unison within yourself and start walking what I like to call the gray in between. Before I became the unknown prophet, I was unison because I was trying to find both parts of myself coming together to be one group. So I think that this is kind of telling you, hey, the decision and the choices are coming here. It's just about making a more balanced choice for yourself. Then we go to your first choice. Okay, would you like to go down your easy path first, your hard path first or your unseen path first? Good to know. Hard path first. So, what is your hard path telling you? It is time for you to start to contemplate those choices you have in front of you. I think you have a couple of either people in mind or a couple of choices in front of you. You have to decide which one of these pretty marbles are going to be good for you. Well, why not just try the dating game for a while? Just try to do a, I won't say speed dating, but maybe where you can get out there and maybe put yourself a little bit more out there in real life, not so much in the ether of the internet, maybe getting yourself out there and seeing what your choices are. Because the more you go out there and experience it, the more you get to see what your choices are. Then you have a better idea of what you want to pick. No choice is going to be a bad choice because you're either learning if this person is right for you or not right for you. It's definitely time for you to start making a choice. You know what kind of person you want, what the attributes of that person represent, what kind of a relationship you want to have with this person that may come to pass. It's all about you saying, that's the kind of marble I want. That's the kind of marble I'm looking for. And that's kind of what I feel like if you're going to be determined about something and getting over those obstacles, it's about time you start considering those choices in front of you because there might be a hidden gem in there right in front of you. Would you like your um, easy or unseen path next? So, what is your easy path telling you? You have the Gardenia Rose card. Now, the Gardenia Rose is my mother's card in this deck. She was always one of person who had to let go of her old past. She let her past define her more than anything. She did. She had battles with alcoholism, battles with depression and anxiety most of her life. She was a single mother who had to bring up two boys on her own. Okay, but the one thing she had to learn to do the most was to grow in the darkness, to realize that she could grow even in the blackest of times. She was one of the most creative people out there in the world that I knew of. Okay, she did a lot of beautiful, wonderful things for people, but she wasn't always so kind to herself. The one lesson my mom told me the most, the one that I, especially when it comes to love, was don't fall in love with someone who doesn't love you back. I was in a relationship for almost 17 years where it was one way. Don't accept the one-way relationship anymore. You have to make sure it's a dual relationship. So no just falling in love with someone because they're pretty or they look beautiful. You have to look on the inside too and see the beautiful parts that they are inside. If they're telling you they just want to be friends, stop, be friends, move on, look for the more romantic partner. Don't go back to your friend asking them for that advice, trying to find a love partner, okay? Especially if you're already infatuated with that person. But that was the one lesson my mom had to teach me because I was a woman that I was in love with for quite a long time where I didn't see that. I was too in love and I couldn't see past it. So remember to give yourself a little bit of advice there from my mother to you, basically saying, remember, you are worth it, that you are a beautiful person out there. Love yourself as much as they will love you, and then you will find the person who's right for you. Then, 3 months later, I found my wife to be. Okay? Now, your unseen path, right? Got a lot of my family cards in here today. You have my Rainier card. Oh, and if there's a mother in your advice who could probably give you some advice about this, I would seek that out today because they're probably going to give you some really good relationship advice today that I think you need to hear. Doesn't necessarily have to be your mom, just your mother figure, someone you consider like that. Then, and unseen path, you have my Rainier card. My Rainier card is my brother's card. Now, my brother just like a lot of us, we didn't always start our journeys the best. My brother actually did something criminal in his past that he had to go pay a price for. He went. And once he finally was in there, he realized that the place he didn't want to be was a place where he was trapped and locked up. Now, he just had to serve his time. He did do something where he had to go out and get some counseling and get some therapy and get some advice from other people out there who could help him make better choices and decisions in his life. So he didn't revisit the same old mistake over and over and over again. When my brother finally got through all of that, he found the one true love of his life because he was finally ready for it. He finally realized that what he wanted the most was that freedom, that breath of fresh air, that breath of that fresh rainfall falling down on him. He wanted to experience life, but that meant being hurt sometimes. That means sometimes you have to go through a couple of different things before he got to the thing he really wanted. He eventually found a woman that he loved and married and is engaged to and is going to get married to someday. So he's still working on his relationship, but he had to do a lot of repairing of himself before he was ready for that future. So that might be something and if there's a brother figure out there who might have a really hard lesson for you to remember to learn, you want to kind of check out that today too. Okay. Now we have your last choice. Do you want your home card first or your leap of faith card first? Home path. All right. So your home path card is my forge card. What does my forge card mean? It is time to start putting yourself into the fire and getting yourself ready for the journey that is about to happen. You built this person. Put yourself out there into the fires because in order for you to become that which you seek, you have to put yourself out there for people to be able to be shaped and molded. You don't need necessarily to be shaped and molded into whatever somebody else wants you to be. You need to shape yourself into what you want to be. You have to become that thing that you want to become the most. What are you making in this picture? Are you going to start thinking about becoming that cup that gets filled with all the love you want? Do you need a little bit of protection like a shield? Do you need a sword to defend that person? Do you need a fan to have a little bit more control over how you feel? What kind of a tool do you need in that forge that you are about to create? So have an idea of the thing that you want to create in your life and manifest that by simply saying, this is who I want to be. Put down the attributes of the kind of a person you want to find, and then go find that person first. Then seek out the beauty part. Okay? Then seek out the physical beauty because you know one day she's going to be old and gray and not so pretty anymore. And are you still going to love them when they're like that? Fall in love with the soul. You will fall in love forever. Then we have your leap of faith card, right? And your leap of faith card is saying heat card. Now, two heat cards in the major top two positions are definitely saying you had to add some fire to the fuel here. What are you waiting for? Why aren't you getting out there and forging this path? You are the lava in this picture. That means if you really want it, you can go get it. You just have to start pointing yourself in the direction you want to go and go. All you have to do to make this happen, and the thing you might be afraid of the most, is taking that chance and putting yourself out there and getting yourself noticed. Yes, there are risks involved in getting in a new relationship. There's risk in everything we do. But what do you have to do? You have to bring that fire, that passion, that lust for life. Remember, the more you don't be conceited about it, the more you love yourself, the more someone sees that as an attractive person. So put together all the things that you want to put out to the universe for them to see, so that they can see the hot, passionate person you are, the beautiful person you are, so they will be attracted to your light and want to be a part of your journey. Then we have your wandering path. Wandering path card is all about that one thing that you haven't considered before. And you have my bud card. You have all of this potential in the world to do get your goals and dreams. But what you're bad about is letting things happen in a more natural way. So sometimes you feel like you have to force the issue. Sometimes you have to realize that you don't have to force the issue. You have to be like a new beginning bud, just starting to open up, taking that ray of sunshine, taking that new rain, take that new experience that is out there. Allow yourself to grow in a natural way. So don't rush it. Allow it to happen naturally. There might be some person out there that is willing to grow with you, but you still have to have your own journeys, but you have to be a team in the end. And I'm going to give you something that I think will be beneficial for you to do here. That I really want you to consider, Sugar. What I want you to do before I get into the end of your reading here, and I'll tell you all about what my intuitions are saying. But here's something I would like you to do. I want you to go buy a key that says "Do not duplicate," and I want you to take all those things that you've written down on a page of the attributes that you want within a person, and I want you to think about it every single day of that kind of a person that you want into your life. Okay, until the moment you find that person, then once you realize that that is the person for you, you want to make a more commitmental statement in your life, hand them the key, tell them that they own the key to your heart, but I have the right to reserve to ask it back in return. So if you're not willing to give me your heart, I'm not willing to give you my heart. So now you want to start putting that positivity, that will and intent out into the universe to bring that person to you. My wife stalked me for 3 months. That means she was actually flirting with me for 3 months before I noticed. Okay, before I went, oh wait, there's the woman who's actually flirting with me, and I didn't realize it for 3 months. Okay, but once you have that key, remember that you have the right to say, I want that key back too. Now, you don't have to have them have that key forever, but that, at least they own your heart for a little bit. And what my intuitional feel for you really is that this is coming for you. I think it's more about you believing in yourself than it is about other people. It's about how your personal belief and how you think about yourself. And that's going to be the thing that's going to bring you to the person that will seek you. Remember, this person might already be in your life. They just don't see you that way because you don't see yourself that way. And I want you to consider that. And that is your reading there, Sugar. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that helped you out today. Make some good decisions, choices, and things. Whatever I did today, hopefully I gave you something to think about. A bare minimum, guys. I give you something to think about today. So you got to go live your own choices and decisions. You got to go live your own life. But it is about you taking part in their journey. Oh, and one last thing for you to don't accept anybody who's not going to communicate and be open and honest with you. Okay, just don't. You don't need that again. I feel like you've been down that road a couple of times. All right, let's see who's next on the list here. Abdul, are you still here on Facebook? Abdul, are you still here? Calling Abdul. You're next in line. Abdul Khan. All right, I'm going to give you. Okay, good. You're here. Just give. I was going to say I'm going to give you 3 minutes to respond. Otherwise, I'm moving on to the next person in line. What kind of a reading do you need today? Let me do a cleansing shuffle for this last reading. All right. Thank you very much for patiently waiting. What kind of a reading would you like today? Would you like a past, present, future reading? Or would you like one like you just saw, maybe the five paths layout? What kind of answer do you seek today, my friend? Let's start there. Do you want a past, present, future reading, a 3 card reading, or do you want a 5 card reading? All right. Well, then you're gonna get my past, present, future reading. can't make that choice. We weren't going to go down the one where you have to make lots of choices. Okay, now I need you to pick a number 1 through 10 of how many times I shuffle the deck for you, Abdul. One more time. How many times do you want me to shuffle the deck 1 through 10? Okay, Abdul, one more time. How many times do you want me to shuffle the deck for you? 1 through 10. I'm really trying to get you the reading you need here, but you have to participate a little bit. Since I can't hand you the cards to shuffle, that's how I have you shuffle. One, two, three, 4, 5. Now pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your journey, that's where your answer is. Well, I might not be getting all of the messages. I apologize for that, but I remember I was in the middle of a reading when you started talking to me, so I'm trying to do the best job I can, young man. I think that's what's happening. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient, okay? All I need you to do is pick a 1 through 52 number. That's where your journey begins. Or so one more time. The last choice you have to make is all right, Selena. Thank you very much for coming on here and saying that, but I'm going to ask you not to do that anymore after this next text, okay? People are coming here for their intuition readings. If they would like to come get a reading for you, they will come find you. But if you do that one more time, I will be blocking you. I don't mind you guys promoting yourselves here once, but remember, I'm here to help other people today. If you would like to, okay, so that's it. All right, you spammed too many times now, so I give you a couple of chances, guys, and then thank you for being patient with Dude. That was somebody else being, I'm counting your cards out here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. And the 50th card is where your answer is. Before I deal these out, I want to make sure you want a 3 card past, present, future reading. Say yes if that's what you want, or if you want the more answers layout, say 5. Okay? It's okay. I understand. Slow internet is slow internet. I'm a patient guy. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. Not until 10 o'clock. That's when I end my streams. And thank you for being patient. His internet connection is slow, so thank you for sticking around. Abdul, it's okay. Take your time. Just respond as quickly as you can. Tell me what kind of a reading, just to make absolutely sure, because I thought maybe you said in the past, but I didn't. I'm trying to check back here and see what you said. But I want to make sure you want a 3 card reading. If I don't hear from you in a couple minutes, I'm just going to give you a standard 3 card reading, okay? I'm not trying to be mean here. I know you're having internet issues, but okay, Abdul, please do not take this the wrong road. I'm going to give you a standard 3 card reading. I'm going to just give it for you. So hopefully, if you come back or your internet connection gets a little bit better, you can kind of come back and have to go back and rewatch this person. But please let me know if you come in and you want to need to restart just the reading. So I'm doing that right now for you because I'm trying to be patient with you and be understanding. Okay. Plus, I had a bunch of other people who wanted to, you know, butt into here. Okay. I'm going to give you 1 more minute to respond, and then we're just going to give you the reading I think you need today. Okay, Abdul, I really hope you appreciate this. Okay, so in the past, it has been about you looking into the dark mirror of self. You've had to kind of look back and see what you have done up to this point. All this unknown that you don't know that's going on within your life, all the stuff that you've been scared about from the past and unknowing of what's going to happen next, you have to start turning yourself around and facing the light instead of facing the darkness. Yes, you needed change. Yes, you needed to kind of understand more about better of who you are. But now it is time to start facing the other direction, more towards the light and less towards the darkness. Now, the darkness is just the change you took to get to this point. Turning yourself around and facing that light now gives you the opportunity to start growing in the way that you want. So start thinking about it like that you are starting to take a better idea of who you are and getting that represented. Then we have what's going on with you presently. Your present is the state of sleep. You feel like there are a lot of little jabs out in the universe. We feel like a lot of things are attacking us on a daily basis. Okay. We feel like there are a lot of little things that kind of get under our skin or kind of jab at us from time to time to time to time. You have to start remembering to dress for the weather outside. So if you are feeling icky on the inside, you have to start putting on that personal armor of positivity in order to be dressed right for the weather. So that when those stinging pellets of sleet hit your skin, they don't hit you as much anymore. They are now more about you becoming a better person to become better protected. So that is kind of what you have to start working on now is that sleep area. What do you have coming for you in your future? It is time for you to start becoming the tool that you want to be. The person that you want to be is right there ready. That you have to strike while the iron is hot. It's time for you to start deciding your own goals, your own dreams. Stop living it by everybody else's idea of who you want that you want they want you to be. It's time for you to start living by your own rules. Start living by your own guidance. Keep yourself in check because you want to temper yourself with those things that which will keep you moving forward. What kind of a tool do you want yourself to be? Do you want to be the warrior who defends? Do you want to be the warrior who protects? Do you want to be the fan who helps control and also help cool down or advise? Or do you want to be the cup that gets filled or empty? You get to decide what kind of a person you want to be in your life. You have to start deciding to set all this stuff that has happened to you up to that point. That was the tempering. You're putting yourself onto that tool that you are becoming now. And it's now your time to become and pour yourself into the mold you want because you are putting that tougher skin on you because you've been through so much. Now you will finally be that person which you need to be. Then your destiny card is telling me that it's about emotions right now. It's about you sharing your emotions and feelings. I want you to remember one thing, that you are the sky in this picture, not the rain. You are the one who is in control of the life that you are living. How things happen to you are the rain. Okay, you get to decide whether or not you want to take that or dress for the weather that's outside. Is it a nice, light, happy rain that you can understand and be a part of? Great, then you know what to expect. But you need to start putting on the better covering of protecting yourself, and you can protect yourself a couple of different ways. Put on that raincoat of self confidence, that self belief, that self understanding, that self love. It's time for you to start realizing that those emotions need to come out in a healthier, conducive way to become that thing in which you need to become. Are you still here, Abdul? One last time, just want to make sure that is your reading, sir. If you come back in, I will try to give you the old 4-1 on that again, but I think your internet connection is just so slow. I'm either not seeing your messages or something's going on there. So your reading was from 9:16 to 9:24. So please check back on the. So you were the last half an hour of my show. So just check back in. Okay, Selena, are you still here with me? Oh, sorry, that was the person who was being a dick. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Only Bone, are you still here? Only Bone? Ah, I was trying to delete that, not show it. Yes, it's your turn, sweetie. Thank you very, very much. I think they had a connection issue there. Hopefully, if they come back in, I'll give them the 411 on what I said, but I don't think so. What kind of a reading would you like today? Sorry, only. Do you want a simple reading or a more complex reading? Okay. Did you understand my five paths journey as I have said them, or do you need to re-explain again? If you understand, say I understand. Then we can go straight into the reading. If you need me to explain again, we'll go into the explaining part. Kara, Anna, Kara, Anna. If people want to come find out your readings at your place, they can come do that. Okay, but please respect me and the people who are about to get readings by only doing that once. If you do more than one time, I will block you. Okay, thank you. All right. So you understand my deck, my five paths. Good. So, how many times would you like me to shuffle the deck for you? And let me do a cleansing shuffle here for you real quick before I get into anything else. Because I want to get that energy so it's ready for you. The cards are ready, and then you can start thinking about what you want to know and tell me how many times you want me to shuffle the deck for just you, though. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7. Now pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your journey begins. One moment while I count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and the 30th card is your where your reading begins here. Give me a second to lay these out real quick here. All right, thank you for your patience there where I got done doing all of that. Here's your reading for you today only. So only here in your past path, you have my unison card. You've been trying to find balance for quite some time in your life. I kind of feel like this has been something that you've been working on for a while. You've kind of felt like there were two different parts of your life that you felt like had to come together eventually. You just weren't sure what that was going to look like. You had to start deciding to live in between both of those lives, living a foot in each of those lives in order to walk one more of balance. So you've been trying to work on that self empowerment and believing in yourself again by saying, I have the power, by saying to yourself, I have the destiny that I want to follow. I'm going to follow my own dreams, my own goals and desires. Like I've said before, Unison used to be my previous magical name, and I did that because there were two parts of myself that I had to bring together as one. I had to realize I couldn't just be one or the other person. I had to be both at the same time. And that meant that one at some points I had to be the good Josh, and sometimes I had to be what I considered a bad Josh, which wasn't very bad, honestly. But what I considered that. And it's about finding that balance within your life. So if you haven't been doing this, you've probably been doing this up to this point so far. So coming into your waiting path card. Your wait path is all about one thing. You have my leaf card, which is all about life, death, and rebirth. If you know how a tree works, any kind of tree works, it goes through cycles of life, death, and rebirth. That's how it exists. It's always going through this cycle of life, death, and rebirth. What you have to realize is your tree has come to a maturity level now where you have to let some of those old leaves fall off to make room for those new leaves coming in ahead of you. So the things that are no longer serving you any purpose, that aren't even adding to the story, you need to start considering letting them go and blow into the wind so they can become things out in the universe. Like they can become fertile soil for you. They still have to drop to the ground. They're still going to add to that dust, to that soil of the ground for things to be able to grow on. But those new leaves want to start to form. So you have to start taking in that energy that you need. But it's time to let go of some of the things you've been holding on to for a while so that you can make a better choice and decision. Now you have some choices to make, okay? Would you like to go down your easy path first, your unseen path first, or your hard path first? So your hard path, and this might seem like a little bit of a, you got my integrate card. Now, what is my integrate card? My integrate card is different than unison because this is about the part of yourself that is becoming whole, and you deciding to light that spark, that flame that says, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to integrate both of these things into my very being. I'm not going to say I'm working on this anymore. I am. And that's one of determination in getting your goals done. Because what you're trying to do right now is find both in. Maybe you're trying to find a better work life balance. Okay, you're trying to find a better how I live my everyday life, how I live my work life, how I date my normal everyday when no one cares what I'm doing life. Okay. You're trying to find that, but you're trying to find a way to put those puzzle pieces so they make some sort of sense. You're doing that by starting that spark, that flame. You want to be the person lighting this flame in the center of this circle here, because that means you're ready to start. You're ready to start taking that action to becoming that person you want to be. So that might be a harder path for you to do right now. Would you like to go down your easy path first, next, or your unseen path next? All right, your unseen path. So you have my finding card. My finding card is about expressing yourself in one specific way. We all want the treasure at the end of the rainbow. But what we don't realize is the journey that we take towards that treasure that's the most beneficial for us. The treasure that you find inside may be one of riches or maybe one of rags, but the journey is the most important thing. It's what you learn on your way to getting to that goal that you are seeking. That's what makes you live a more fulfilled and happy life. Yes, you may find the good things inside. Yes, you may find the bad things in, but it's about the journey you're about to take and being understanding that, hey, once I've found this treasure, the journey is over. You have to start a new journey. You have to start finding a new treasure or a new goal or a new moment in your life, whichever way you want that to be put upon. But it's about understanding that there are hidden treasures out there. It's time to start going and finding those things because you're going to be on your way towards them. Interestingly enough, the next card we go to after that is the one that you didn't choose, the easy path. That's the next card that we go, and that's the searching card. If you're laughing slightly right now when wondering how could I get the finding card and the searching card at the same time, it's because what you have to realize is that you are already on top of this hill. You have already been searching for what you've been looking for. What you forgot to do is you forgot to do one very important thing. Stop being like Prometheus, pushing up that dumb rock, up that dumb hill against the grain of things that you don't want to learn in your life. You need to step to the left or step to the right and let that heavy crap baggage fall down behind the ravine so you can finish the rest of the journey on your way to finding what you're looking for. So kind of get out of your own way a little bit here because you are in that process of searching for that treasure. You are going to be finding that treasure. But like this one is, it's more about you getting to that point where you're ready to say, stop getting in my own darn way. So kind of going with that. Then we have your last pick or choice to make. You either have your home card next or your leap card next. Which card would you like next? All right, your home card. So what do you need to do to feel to bring within yourself or what you need to bring back into your life? You have my great oak card. What does my great oak card mean? It means you have started to reach a certain maturity level. You're not in diapers anymore. You're not a teenager anymore. You're an adult now. When you are working towards becoming the person that you want to be and you're deciding the things that are going to fulfill you and keep you and make you feel like a whole beautiful person, these are the furniture that you move into yourself. These are the outside world saying you are choosing, you want this to be within you. Okay? You are choosing this destiny, this piece of furniture that you want within self, inside of yourself. That can be a myriad of different things, depending on what your kind of style and lifestyle looks like. If you deciding what kind of specific thing you want to be in permanent residence within the home within yourself. So, do you want to have that always having that belief that today is going to be the best day ever? Always be a part of your home? Is that a part of your permanent furniture? Is it looking good? Do you need to have it replaced? Do you need more self confidence? What else do you possibly need? You look around at what you have in your life and look around at what you have going on right now to find out if you have the right furniture inside can feel more self and secure within yourself. It's like I said, it's about reaching a certain maturity level because the next one after this is the grand oak. That's where you have that knowledge and wisdom to be able to fall back on, but you always have to remember to keep learning. So even though you're getting to a stage where you're starting to do a little bit more growth, remember you still have some ways to go until a lot more growth to go before you are finally ready to, I won't say done cooking yet, but be more at peace within self. You've got maybe a tiny bit more to go. Then we have your leap of faith card, which is the most interesting draw I've gotten today because you got my leap faith card in the leap faith position. So that means whatever you've been scared of doing for a long period of time, and you know what this thing is, it is finally time to take that risk. What are you afraid of? What can anything else really, really turn out wrong? Worse than you're already going? What could you possibly learn through doing this thing? Maybe you learn you don't want to do that anymore and you never ever have to try it again. But you won't know unless you know you are doing that you are being a part of that energy, that high energy, that card. Taking that leap of faith means you have to know where you are jumping into. You're not sure how you're going to land. The answer is you know exactly what you're jumping into. You know exactly what you're going to be landing on. You just have to do the action. So it's time to take that step and get over that fear that's stopping you from living the life you want to live. Then we have your path not taken card. The one thing you might not have considered today. Okay. And you have my whale joint cord. Now, this is my wife's card. Okay. My wife is one of the most brilliant people that I know. I love her with all of my heart. I will never say I don't love her. Okay. But because I don't have reasons to, we have a nice, open, communicative relationship. But my wife is a very stubborn woman, stuck in her ways sometimes. It's not easy for her to make big changes in her life until that change comes to her. She has to realize that she's been living in a certain situation, in a certain group her whole life, or living in the ocean her whole life. But she very rarely, the thing she has to remember to do the most is come up for that breath of fresh air, that breath of life back into herself again, that, that joy to jump out of. Because when whales breach the ocean's floor, they are taking that breath of life. They are screaming in joy, the happiness, because they get to take in that life again. So then they can go back down and be a part of their pod, their family, be a part of the underneath currents that are driving them to be the more emotional person that they want to be, the better person they want to be. But they had to first accept that they had to find the joy in their life once again. So this is telling you maybe it's time to start finding that moments of joy that you need to peek out your head a little bit more and go, hey, world, what can I have fun with today? And how can I enjoy my life today? And that's basically what this card is saying to you. So I look over your whole reading and I ask myself, what could this possibly mean for you? It's definitely time for you to start walking that life that you've finished that balance. You understand that you've finished the balance you were working on because you've done the change and you've allowed that process to finally happen. That life, that death, that rebirth, because you are finding those things that you were looking for because you've integrated into yourself that which you sparked to make happen. So taking that action to finding that thing which you were looking for because you have to get out of your own way and allow that block that's been keeping in your way to roll down the hill behind you because you have reached that maturity level that you have been wanting to reach for a long period of time. And you are starting to put things within yourself that are going to make you feel happy, safe, and secure within your life because you are ready to take that leap of faith and overcome that thing you've been afraid to do because you want to find that joy again. That is your reading only. And if you would like a qualifying card on any of these paths that I will be putting in front of you, that means a one card on top of any of those to qualify what that answer might mean. Say yes if you do and tell me which position you want it in. Otherwise, say thank you. And we will be starting to wind down the end of my stream. Uh, Billy, I don't know if you needed a reading today or not, but you will be my last reading. I don't know, you pick. So there's not any one thing that you would really like to know more information about? something you feel that you want to know more about? That's what I'm saying here. Do you want more? Do you want more answers on that path, that hard path, that easy path, that waiting path, that finding path? Here's where I don't know. You pick my husband. Well, I'm sorry, I'm already married. You're a lovely person, but I already love her. Um, Searching path. Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know. So, okay, here's what it is. Okay, so remember, what are we need to get out of your way of? This thing that is probably going to mean a lot to you because you sometimes feel guilty about your success. You don't always have all of this crushing guilt about what you've done wrong. Sometimes you feel guilty for that you've done as well as you have done. And there may be something you're feeling slightly guilty about, but that's that big pebble you've been rolling up that hill for such a long time. If you let that pebble fall down behind you and that guilt go and crush to the bottom of it, it's no longer to stand in your way to getting to the rest of that goal that you are searching for so that you can find it. So you can finally reach the treasure and see what's inside. So you can at least accomplish that goal. Yes, there might be more goals and more defined things for you to find in the future, but it's about maybe not being so afraid of that success that is going to be coming into your life. Or maybe, just maybe, you have to stop feeling guilty about all the stuff that you might not have done because you weren't ready to do that search. I hope that makes some sort of sense to you there. Only bone. I hope that helped you today in some way, gave you a little bit of things to look forward to. Like I like to say, guys, remember your future's in your own hands. No matter what I've told you today, you guys have the responsibility and right to go live the life you want to live. So go live every day with your best day ever. All right. Now give me 1 second here because I need to do one last thing, Billy, before I am ready to do this here. I'm closing my queue down. Who will be my last reading for today? All right. Since you are my last and final reading there, Billy, welcome on in. All right, Billy Joe, what kind of a reading would you like today? Uh, Simple, past, present, future reading, or do you need a more answers reading? Billy, are you still with me? Phone is behind. Okay. I will be patient with you then. Okay. Thank you for letting me know you're having a leggy issue. So, what kind of a reading do you need today, Billy? Do you want a past, present, future reading, or do you need the five paths journey layout reading? What kind of a reading would you like today? Past, present, future. Gotcha. How many times do you want me to shuffle the deck? 1 through 10, please. One, two, three, four, five, six. Now pick a number 1 through 52, and that's where your answer is. I'm turning this off. Now the sun's up a little bit better. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is your present, future, and last but not least, the Destiny card. And we're ready to rock and roll. All right. So here's your reading for today, Billy. So in your past, you've been working on getting better control of what's going on within your life. You have my fanning card, which means you're taking better control of the fire that's sitting in front of you, what your life is right now. That means you're deciding what kind of a speed you want to be going in your life. Do you want to be like you're starting a new fire? Okay, do you need to be the nice light flame to get that spark to start it? Do you need to be the bigger fan that gets that flame roaring so you can start adding logs onto the fire? You have to start considering what kind of a control you want to start having over your life. What speed is going to serve you best? So you've probably been working on this in your life right now about deciding what kind of a speed you want to start going in life. Maybe you've decided to slow down a little bit. Maybe you've decided to be a little bit more aggressive in your goals and dreams. This is up to you to decide. It's time for you to take back control and stop letting other people tell you how to live life and start living it by your rules, not everybody else's rule. Then we have what's going on in your present time. Right now, you have my exist card, okay? My exist card is all about you deciding that you are done just existing. You no longer just want to exist. You don't want to live this mundane life that doesn't seem to go anywhere or do anything. You're starting to consider punching through to the next side of becoming and being. So you're deciding who you want to be right now, who you want to be born as. Think of it as a being reborn in a way, because you're going to be reborn into this person that you have want to be instead of this person you don't want to be anymore. So you kind of have to punch through this existence a little bit and say, here I am. This is who I want to be. I want to be more than just an existing thought. I want to start working on becoming a very whole being. So that's kind of what you're working on right now. Then we have going on in your future. Give me a second. You have my buds card, which is about one thing. It's about all this hidden potential that you have within yourself. Think of yourself like a rosebud that's just starting to bud for the very first time. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen right away. It takes that light to shine into those leaves. It takes that rain to come down. It takes that wind to blow that dust and pollen in to fertilize those seeds so that they become leaves in the future. It takes all of these things in order for them to happen, but you have the potential to make this happen. All you've got to do to make that happen is allow it to just happen. Allow your leaves to open naturally. Allow those leaves to come out naturally so you're no longer just a bud anymore. You're a full leaf taking in all the experiences of life now. What is your destiny card telling me? What does you need to know about the most right now? And I think this is going to be the card that speaks to you the most, honestly. Your destiny card is my dark mirror card. You have to realize that all this change, all the stuff that you thought wasn't serving you for some reason, all this bad, icky stuff you consider the worst parts of your life, they were doing one thing. They were getting you to stop facing the darkness, to turn you back around, so to start facing the light. You don't have to look back deep inside anymore. You've done a lot of inner work. You know that stuff. What you need to do now is turn your butt around and start facing the future and the light. Because once you put the darkness at your back, all you see is your light. Remember, you are the light in the darkness. You are not the dark of the light. So you have to remember to bring that out. This is also the unknown, that things you don't know about that could happen, that might not be. Stop worrying about what may or may not happen. Start being the light that guides your own future. Decide your own destiny. Now, you have one more card if you so wish it, being on top of your buds card. If you would like a qualifying card to tell you a little bit more information about that, please say yes. If you don't, say thank you, and that will be the end of my readings for today. You're very welcome, Billy. Thank you very much for coming on in. All right, everybody. I would like to say thank you on behalf of me, the Unknown Prophet. I am Joshua Adam Bleezy. I am going to be getting ready to roll my credits and allowing myself to get to the rest of my day today and do some healthy things I need to do for me today. So I need to go have myself a nice little day. I get a guy day because my wife went out for appointments today, so I kind of get the Josh equivalent of being on my own today. So let's see what trouble I can get up to today. In other words, I'm going to watch TV in the background and see what silly things I can watch on TV. That's how much trouble I get into. Anyway, but I really want to remind you guys to remember, no matter what I've told you here today, remember, you have the right and responsibility to go live the life you want to live. So go live your best life ever starting today, because you are playing the greatest choose your own adventure game you will ever play. It's called life. That's right. It's not a trick. It's not a game. It's not an outcome. It's just what you do while you're here on earth. That's the point. That's the purpose. So go live that every day so it can be your best one ever and be free, guys. I really, really appreciate you all being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe any of my socials. Please leave me a review on my Facebook page. Please, if you have the wherewithal to give me a couple dollars here or there, only do it if you can absolutely afford to do it. I don't want your last dollar, and only pay me that which you believe I deserve. You can find out all of that information at my Josh Show Linktree site there. So just go to Linktree/Josh Show, and you will find out all of my socials there. I really appreciate you all being here today. Thank you. Join me again tomorrow from 7 to 10 Central Standard Time. I will be here every single day doing readings for 3 hours, and I will try to bring you the best possible path for you. But my hat's off. I am out of the office. Oh, the Unknown Prophet has left the building. Rolling the credits. If you are on Twitch and would like to join me for a raid, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're on YouTube and or on Facebook, I wish you the very best and have a great rest of the day. Roll the credits. Roll the credits. Roll the credits. 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 Here credits. Here credits. Here credits. All right, I'm done now.
The second story is the husband and wife had asked for divorce, and the ex-husband, or the ex-husband, burned down the house. And unfortunately, it's the story you go being killed if it's the mother that is caught. Are you two together? That's incredible. That was incredible.